Hello, welcome to another video. If you are someone who struggles with balance, this video is for you. We are going to go through a 10-minute practice that focuses on just that. So grab your mat, grab some comfortable clothes, and let's get started. Hey everyone, it's Kylie. Go ahead and step into the center of your mat with your feet tight together, hands coming to heart center, and we're going to start with some simple ankle calf raises. So as you float your heels up from the floor, slowly up and slowly down, see if you can keep the ankles as close together as possible and start thinking about your upper body posture, staying soft in the face, belly button draws into the spine, and the spine grows long. Go ahead and find your balance at the top. Let's hold it here and see if we can take our hands out to the side, testing out how our balance is feeling today. Some days it feels better than others, of course. Nice. Go ahead, lower down and circle out those ankles. Keep them mobilized, keep the blood flowing. We're gonna step the feet wide and turn the toes out to the side and try that again in a wide stance, which is a little bit harder in this turned out position. Our base is different. Focus on something right in front of you. Try not to have a distracted focus. That's going to challenge your balance that much more. Nice, let's let that go. All right, we are moving on. We are standing in a split stance, right foot forward, left foot back, both toes pointing forward. And going through a gentle lunge position, you're going to bring your back leg up and through and attach your toe to your knee, take the arms up overhead, and then go ahead and step back. So this is a dynamic weight transfer, again, moving through that shallow lunge. And what's happening is as we're in motion, our balance is challenged that much more. So really think about those ankle stabilizers and that posture and focusing on something right in front of you so that you don't fall over on that weight transfer. We're gonna do a few more here. We're gonna take our lunge a little bit deeper on the pass through, and that's gonna challenge that weight transfer even more. Nice work. Keep breathing, keep focusing. Let's hold this one a little bit longer and let's make it a little harder. Let's extend that lifted leg and flex the ankle and then come back through and step down. Nice work. Go ahead and switch the legs, take a little breather in between. We lunge, we transfer the weight forward, and we bring that knee straight up and through. And I'm aiming for a straight supporting leg, so yawning open in the back of the supporting leg, growing tall and long through the front of the hip flexor, dropping the tailbone down to the floor to keep that spine posture nice and strong. The chin points straight forward. Try not to do anything funky with your head and neck. Nice. Gradually making those lunge steps a little bit deeper. And then pausing at the top and taking that leg extension on a nice firm balance. Well done. All right, moving on to a more lateral stance position. We're taking the feet wide again and turning those toes out. Hands to heart center. We're going to bend both knees, sumo squat, and then transfer the weight onto a straight leg. Lift the arm up and over, and then float the inside leg about a foot off the floor, transferring through that bent knee position. So going through that deep squat and then transferring onto one leg is very challenging, and like I mentioned before, will throw your balance off. It takes a lot of focus and a lot of practice. As we advance this, we take both arms up and over, and we start to lean up and over to the side a little bit more. We're going to do a couple more rounds, challenging ourselves to lean further into that lateral space. And as you can see, I'm moving slower to assist with that transition. Your goal here is to get into a flat horizontal line from tips of the fingers to tips of the toes. And this is very challenging to do. This is waking up our side body, our obliques. All right, transitioning through a nice wide deep squat. See if you can use just one step to bring the feet together and face forward on your mat. We are coming onto one leg once again, floating that right knee up into the air, and then sending it back and through, lowering ourselves down through a single kneeling position, sweeping the front leg back and finding a pinwheel, a small twist in the spine, and then rising right back up again through one knee and then back onto one foot. And that's the same leg we started with. We'll do this again. As you can see, I'm bending my standing leg to help lower me down to the floor with control, moving mindfully, moving slowly. If you're wobbling and falling, that's okay. That's part of developing the balance reflex. We're gonna swing the floating leg through and find a floating T shape or a toppling tree, reaching those arms out to the side. Nice. Go ahead and float the hands down to the floor now and reach that floating leg into a standing split. Good. From this position, float the fingertips back up off the floor. You can bend the standing leg if you need to transition back through that T, and then swing that knee up and through. Great work. Let's move on to the other side, floating that left leg up into the air, and then swinging it through, taking that kneeling position, swinging the opposite leg around and back through the pinwheel, and then moving through that balance on your knee and floating the kneeling leg up off the floor. Keep the focus strong. So as I lower myself down to the floor, I'm focusing on something on the floor because my posture has changed. I'm constantly using my eyes to find something to focus on and being patient with myself. Great. We swing the floating leg through. We move into this floating T shape. We aim to have a flat back and a lengthened supporting leg. Ankle stabilizers working so hard. Go ahead and float the fingertips to the floor. Lift that floating leg a little higher, standing split, and then using a bent knee to transition back onto just one leg. Floating the knee back and through. Let's let that go. Nicely done, my friends. Let's come back to the center of the mat. First, let's take some ankle circles, get that blood flowing. The legs are working hard. We are moving into some balance-focused squats. Sometimes this looks like chair pose in yoga, but we're gonna start with the feet hip distance apart, hands to heart center. We're gonna float the heels off the floor. Find that balance first. Don't forget to breathe as you slowly bend the knees and lower yourself down, just like you're on an elevator, down into a very low squat position, keeping those heels lifted. Core is pulling in tight and holding us strong as we gradually, slowly bring ourselves back up to standing without lowering the heels where possible. Now I'm going to widen my stance without lowering those heels, and I'm going to do this squat position in a wide stance. Very challenging. Legs burning at this point, calves burning at this point. You can do it. Woo! Nice work. Let those heels lower and shake that off. Moving right along. Turning sideways on the mat, continuing on with some more tripod stance balance work. So I'm kneeling with my left knee on the floor. I've got my hands beside my knee. I tuck the back toes, and then I gradually start to lengthen out the knees, walk the fingertips forward, and float the left foot off the floor. Go ahead and remove your right hand from the floor and tap your right ankle. Then try the same thing with that left hand. Awesome. Let's float that left leg a little higher, standing split, bringing our gaze to the front of our shin, and again, floating right hand to shin, and then trying floating left hand to shin. This brings us to just 2 balance points. Very challenging. Let's take a little break. Let's find a kneeling position. Drop that left knee to the floor, and then push right back up into your standing split. We are going to attempt to remove both hands from the floor. First, I start with my index fingers. Then I go ahead and remove that left finger, place it on the shin, and slowly see if I can remove my right hand and attach it to my ankle, even just for a moment. Come back to that balance point on the fingertips, and then remove that knee. Let's come down through a kneeling position and take a little rest. You know what's up. We are doing that on the other leg. Standing on that left leg now, finding that tripod position, floating the right leg nice and high. Go ahead and tap left ankle with left hand and right hand. Lift that ankle a little higher. Good. Come back to your tripod. Yeah, just experiment here a little bit more. Try it again on both hands if that feels good. Coming back through that kneeling position, and then we'll attempt for removing both hands. So we can minimize our balance points by coming onto our index fingers, removing right hand, and then slowly floating left hand, staying on one leg for as long as you possibly can, and then coming back to your tripod and lowering that right knee back down to the floor. Well done. Amazing work, everyone. At this point, your ankles and calves are feeling fiery, so go ahead and pass through a standing forward fold and give those feet some good circles, both with the toes and the ankles. Awesome job today. I hope you are feeling a little bit more solid on those stems of legs that you possess, And thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you in a future video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy the practice. It really helps a lot. See you next time.